If you've ever had troubles getting your broadheads to fly like your field points, you know that it can be extremely frustrating. Now, usually it's not a very difficult fix, but there are a number of things it could be, and it can be hard to figure out exactly what's causing the issue. So we're going to break it all down for you. Here are 6 reasons your broadheads are not flying with your field points. Reason 1, your arrows are not square. So whether you built your arrows or the shop built them, there's a lot of steps that go into building an arrow to ensure that they spin square. When we talk about an arrow spinning square, we mean that when you roll it on an arrow spinner with a broadhead on it, there's absolutely no wobble in the tip of the broadhead, as you can see here. If there is some wobble, there's no way that your broadhead is going to fly properly, basically because if your broadhead is wobbling through the air, it's not cutting wind as aerodynamic as it can, and that'll cause your arrow to basically, while your broadhead is wobbling, the way it's cutting wind will make your arrow wobble as well, and that can take it right off course. It's the biggest factor. So why wouldn't an arrow spin properly? Well, it first comes down to when you cut them. Just cutting them on an arrow saw doesn't necessarily mean your arrows are square. You need to square them off, and not only do you need to square them off, but you need to dry fit each component before you glue and spin it. It's a pain in the butt. It's a big process, but it is so worth it when you know that all your arrows are perfect. It can also come down to component quality, and this brings us to the second reason your broadheads might not be flying with your field points. You might have bad quality components. Now, there are certain broadheads on the market that are made in China that are low quality, that just don't spin. The quality of the broadhead is just not there, and there's nothing you can do that will make it properly fly. That's definitely a thing. And the same thing can happen with component quality. I find this is a little bit less frequent. A poor quality component also may just never spin properly. So make sure you're buying high quality components. You won't regret spending the money. Reason number 3 your fixed blade broadheads are not flying with your field points is that your arrow spine might be off. Arrow spine is way more than just looking at a spine chart and saying, I shoot 60 pounds at 28 inches, I need a 350 or 400 spine. It's way more than that. That's only a starting point. We recommend using an online software called Archer's Advantage to check your arrow spine. People don't think about this enough. When you're building the arrow, you go from 100 grain point to 125 grain point. That changes the spine of your arrow. If you shoot a 3-fletch or a 4-fletch, that's adding weight to the back end. That changes the spine of your arrow. Cutting your arrow by 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch is a huge change to your arrow spine. Increasing your draw length or draw weight changes what spine your bow needs. There's so many factors, and Archer's Advantage does it all for you. We're not sponsored by them. I'm just a big fan of the product. You can check out the video here on how I use that software to create the perfect arrow. But in my personal shop here, where I work on people's bows, I have a guarantee I can make almost any, and I say almost any broadhead because some are just bad. I can make almost any fixed blade broadhead fly with your field points out to 80 yards. And the first step, the secret to all that, is spine matching and really spending a lot of time making sure that you are building an arrow that is perfect for your bow, because it is not one size fits all, not even close. Reason number 4 that your bow is not shooting fixed blades with your field points is that you haven't paper tuned. There's a big debate between paper tuning and bare shaft tuning. I don't like bare shaft tuning. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but the reason I don't bare shaft tune is because I don't shoot my arrows without vanes, so I don't care how they fly without vanes. I like to shoot through paper with vanes. The standard paper tuning has always worked so good for me. So after I go through my full bow setup, I know that my arrows are square. I know that they've been built properly spine matched. Then I paper tune, and after I paper tune, if all goes well, I never have issues shooting my fixed blade broadheads with my field points. I just can't overstate the importance of paper tuning enough. We have a video right here on how you can do it at home with no special equipment. All you need is a cardboard box and a set of stairs. Reason number 5 why your fixed blade broadheads are not flying with your field points is that your cams are out of time. So on a compound bow, cam timing, I'm sure you've heard the term, but if you don't know what it is, basically cam timing is setting your bow up in such a way that your cams are working as perfect mirrors of each other and rotating at the exact same time. Now that's cam timing in a nutshell. Every cam design has a slightly different definition of what proper timing means, but in general, you want your cams working together as mirror images. Now, if one cam is slightly ahead of the other one in the draw cycle, that means when it fires, let's say the top cam is ahead of the bottom cam, when you fire your bow, that means that the top of your arrow is trying to get out of the bow faster than the bottom of your arrow. And I know that's sounds like kind of a weird concept, but it really makes a difference. You need everything happening perfectly. But picture it, right? If your top cam is trying to shoot and comes to rest in its shot cycle before the bottom, how is that going to impact your arrow flight? And it's huge. That's a huge reason why your broadheads might not be grouping with your field points. And it's a really easy fix, but you do need a bow press for that. So if you don't have a bow press, take it to your shop. That's routine shop work. They can help you out. Reason number 6 why your fixed blade broadheads are not flying with your field points is your form. Your form, particularly your hand position and what you do with your front arm, is so crucial when you're shooting a bow. When you're shooting field points, you have a lot of leeway because there's nothing that can possibly try to steer the arrow except for the vanes. But when you have a fixed blade broadhead on the front, that front end, it's heavy, it's powerful, and it has essentially, they're like vanes. The blades are like vanes, and they can try to steer your arrow. So having proper form and ensuring that even if your bow is perfectly set up and your arrows are perfectly tuned, bad form can make your arrow not come off your bow square. So you have to have perfect form, especially when you're shooting fixed blade broadheads. And this is why I say all the time that shooting fixed blade broadheads makes you a better archer, because you have to have good form to shoot them at long range, 80, 90 yards. You can absolutely shoot fixed blade broadheads with field points out to even 100 yards. You just need to have good form. If you have what they call the monkey grip on your bow, where your hand is too much of your hand is on the grip, that can absolutely cause torque in your bow, which will make your arrow not come off the bow straight. If you have a high front shoulder like this when you're shooting, what tends to happen is as you shoot, that drops. It causes your bow to move before the arrow completely is off. There's so many things that it could be. If you have a tendency to shoot and drop your arm, that'll totally make a difference. So really dialing down your form is good for everything you'll do in archery, especially shooting fixed blade broadheads. There is no reason that we shouldn't always be trying to get better at shooting and archery and everything we do in bow hunting. Thanks for watching, guys. If you've made it this far in the video, I want to offer you all 10% discount off of our website. Using the code YouTube10, you'll get 10% off any order you make. Thank you guys for watching.